Alrighty, let's get this started. There we go. I think everything is up and running. So today's stream, I should probably have changed the title. Today is gonna be about, let's see what I wrote. Yeah, that you can try out the AI. That's sort of where it all starts all the time. Just gonna talk a little bit about how you can do that. If you wanna try that, I'll just do a quick demo. And then today it's gonna be all about quality insurance, and that's gonna be the key for the whole project. And the project is to make an AI based on Martinus' work that can write wiki articles. That's the thing. And I started actually many years ago, 20, something like that. I started a wiki. It's about 25 years ago they came along, and they ended up being Wikipedia and all that. And I thought, and I know Martinus has talked about as well, that maybe someday it would be good to have sort of a Wikipedia kind of thing where you could actually go and look up different terms. So that's the idea, and the site is already there. So maybe we should start with that, just to try something different for once. Oh no, let's start with the AI. So the AI is basically something I set up, and I'll show a lot more about that. I'll be working on it today. I do these streams I have them weekly, so this is where I work on it, and I prepare a little bit. So I just make sure that the project will move along. So that's my motivation for it, and if someone comes along and looks into it, that's fine as well. But for now, it's just about getting some stuff running that could actually be used for something, and I think we are getting close to it. So let's have a look. Essentially, let me put it here. So that one. I hope it's possible to read this one. But essentially, you go to the chat, and if you don't have the chat, put a question in the comment, and I will throw it at the AI if you want to test it out. But when I'm online, you can actually just ask it and just write. Now we can do that. Exclamation point AI, that's for command AI. And then you can say, what is the living being? And then this command gets picked up by what is called a bot, a streamer bot basically. And it's sent it to the AI, and I'll go a bit more into what all that is in a minute, or 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever. It usually takes like half an hour to explain what is going on, and I don't think I'll spend half an hour on that today because I want to get some stuff done. Yeah. So now it has generated the answer, and what I do is essentially to go to this one, and here you can see that there's been a total of 154 calls. That's at the bottom. There's one unprocessed. That's the one we just gave. Unprocessed actually means there's an answer, but we haven't shown it yet. So the one you see right now is from an old one, basically. So I can push a button here, and here we go. what is the living being? And it says the living being is fundamentally an eternal, immortal, something that is. And then there's a reference, and this might not be completely accurate, not because the AI, I think, is making mistakes, but the database I'm using is not 100% updated. So what I did last time was essentially to so I can have the machine read it. So let's try that. And what we did last time was essentially to skip all the references because that made you nuts. So let's try it.
Input, what is the living being? Response, ## answer. The living being is fundamentally an eternal, immortal something that is. This something is inaccessible to direct physical sensory perception. The part of the living being that can be sensed directly is only that which is created or produced. A living being is a triune principle consisting of an I, a creative faculty, and that which is created. This unit is an eternal, immortal reality. The I in the living being constitutes something that is. The living being also has a temporal and eternal manifestation. The temporal manifestation is the direct experience of life itself. The living being is the same as time and eternity appearing in flesh and blood. Everything is life, and everything is living. The living being's physical body is a medium for creation and experience for its originator or I. Overall assessment, minor citation errors found.
Yeah, so it consists of the answer, basically, and then there's a quality check, and that's an AI as well. So there are essentially two agents or AIs running here to do the answer. One is creating the answer, and one is making a quality assurance check. And the way it's working is essentially, let me show that. Let's start with that then. I'm gonna do it very quickly because that's what I do today. There we go. And here we go. So we essentially have this is, we can call it the architecture, basically. And we have it here. So we have user, actor, whoever, some person who writes a query. In this case, it was, what is the living being? And then it makes, it essentially, it's a vector database. I've explained that 100 times. It's sort of a way of filtering text. So instead of sending all the text Martinus has written, you do some math that can compare text and see how close or how similar they are. And based on a lot of text of Martinus' work is chunked into his sections, basically. So the Book of Life has 2,500 or whatever it is. The Eternal World Picture is in there, and the minor books are in there. And they're all chunked up in these sections, so they are around 3,000, I believe. So this query essentially gets the thing that is close to what is the living being. And I believe I have asked to get 50 of the text sections. And they are sent to a generative AI. And essentially what that does is it takes the text that we just found, and it sends it to an LLM, which is what you know from ChatGPT. And based on that, it makes a text about what text it received. it takes that answer and it sends it to an evaluator AI agent, which is the one who wrote the last line, that there are some of the quotations that were, what did it say actually? Minor citation errors found, which is not very precise. And that's one of the things. But the actual QA report is quite long. And what I started on last time was essentially to start digging into how can you actually make a qualified quality assurance in this. How can you make sure? How can you not make sure, but make it reliable? Let's call it that. I have an IT background, and you never went for everything has to work perfectly, because that wasn't doable. It was way too expensive, if practically possible at all. So you just and it's not that easy, but you want it to be reliable. You want it to be sure to catch if there are any errors and so forth. So that was the plan with that. So and then the evaluator. So then at the end you take the answer from generative AI and you bring it together with the conclusion from the evaluator agent, and that's what you see here. So there should be one more. There are essentially two. What is the living being? I tend to ask that question. That was probably an old one. Oh, that was my test actually. So anyway, what I did last time was essentially, did I kill the Docker? Yeah. I never started it. Yeah, so everyone can ask whatever. Yeah, just testing out some things here. AI. History of life. I want to see how it reacts, just to give it some society. Just push it a little bit. And I don't know if the... Okay, it's getting there. What happened? I need to get my stuff up and running, and it's not running. Okay. What did I do? Sorry. I think I don't know what I did. I think I cleaned up my whole computer a little bit. Just close some programs. This is not great. This is where you want to restart your computer. That's not optimal because I'm also streaming from that computer. Anyway, so I showed it last time. So I guess it's fine. So yeah. There are some answers now. And again, what I wanted to do is essentially to make a wiki, right? So it's this one. Put it in chat. Here it is. All there is to it. And there should be a link to an English one. And we have it here, and there's not a lot going on here. There's essentially not a lot. That's the short version of it. But anyway, so maybe that's what we do today. If I can remember how to log in. Okay, I could do that. That's nice. So maybe it's a little bit of wiki work I do until maybe I get the other one up and running. I just doubt it. So I have some sound effects. It's so nice. So 20 minutes. Okay, so what I want to do today is basically do some quality assurance. I want to find some terms and I want to figure out how do I check that this is still how the quality of things are. So I want to pick some terms and I want to run it through the AI. And then for every version there is, I will have someone to check whether it's actually improving. So I think what I will do is to start a project. And this is like this, and it's been a while since I did this. Projects. And we can create it. There we go. This is the project. Project page for Martinus wiki. And then we do what should we call it? Project, no, Martinus wiki. Yeah, Martinus. How is this done? Fine. So here we have the page is for creating what? Oh. Our project. Thank you. It's just been a while. To do like that. Oh, I used to have something up here. That made it so much easier. Because I cannot remember how to do this. Come on. Like that. So now I just want to make a, yeah, that one is fine. Okay, let's say that's the thing. Kill some tabs before we get a gazillion of them. Here we go. Now we have the AI. So quality assurance for AI Martinus, is that what we call it? Martinus is a project to utilize AI to create wiki pages on Martinus Wiki and other things. Use cases. Alrighty. We will select a set of articles purpose of this part of the project to ensure that the articles meet a certain level of quality. This part of project ensures which the will have, maybe we can actually read it now. Will select a set of articles by which we can illustrate quality of the AI generated wiki pages. The generated wiki pages will have to be checked by humans, but we strive to get a certain level of quality from the AI, from the outset. To do the quality assurance plan. We will select 10 relevant five random. That the AI should not answer. We have not provided it information. Here are the 10 articles. So the living being is one. Living being. So I want to give it some let me see what have I done here. This is Danish. Bum bum bum. That's a difficult one. Leaders. Oh. It's actually written in Danish. The mystery of life. Let's do some random one. Yeah, not that one. Okay, I also have to be able to mentality. That's an evil one. Martinus in the clip, that's where a lot of teaching is going on. I need to translate that correctly. Explosion. Is that what I'm 9K in English. X, is that an S? Probably not, right? Nope. They're so smart, these Americans. I think I'm whispering right now, and I really like some. Wow. Language of God. That's a tough one. Electric motor. Wow. Electric motor. Meditation. That's a good one. Terror. No. Nails. Let's try that. That's an interesting one. Yeah. What does Martinus state about nails? I know a little bit. Is Martinus shouldn't be able to answer that as well. Let me just stream for half an hour and I'm tired. Alrighty. Let's see what it answered actually. That's funny. Unprocessed 4. Oh. I've been out running, so I'm just gonna do the lazy one. Oh. So stupid.
Input, prayer. Response, ## answer. Prayer is an innate, cosmic ability that connects beings to the Godhead. It is not a human invention but an organic ability that exists regardless of conscious awareness of the connection. Prayer can be seen as a living daily conversation or correspondence with the Godhead. Prayer can be used to ask for favors, but in a cosmic viewpoint, this is the same as praying for favoritism, which will never be granted. Prayer can also be used for the divine will to be done. When one prays in the Spirit of Jesus, which is the Spirit of all love, one is in contact with the divine will. Such prayer is the same as praying for something in contact with all love, and therefore in contact with the divine will and the Godhead's direct wish. In this way, the prayer is granted. The Lord's Prayer, in its 9 thought concentrations, expresses the perfect mental attitude toward providence or the Godhead. Meditation and earnest prayer using the Lord's Prayer will lead to living in harmony with the highest thought climates. Conclusion: the generated answer is mostly accurate and well cited, with one missing citation.
Alrighty. Pretty good answer.
Input: mystery of life. Response: #answer. The mystery of life is a complex concept, with its solution not found in any specific location in space or time. Materialistic science, focusing on weights and measures, cannot solve it, as it only deals with limitations and effects rather than the expression of life itself. The solution to the mystery of life is not about distance, space, or time, but rather the interplay of infinity and limitation. The basic solution to the mystery of life involves understanding cause and effect, where every effect stems from a cause, and effects also become causes. The solution is also about acknowledging that the universe constitutes a triune principle, revealing a thinking, creating something behind it, similar to how a living being is manifested. This understanding removes the mystery surrounding the true identity of the living being. The solution also involves the understanding of wishes and longings being fulfilled over time. The triune principle is the revelation of life's greatest mystery and removes mystery surrounding the living being's identity. The solution to the mystery of life is also linked with the fact that
feel free to write something in the chat, and you can use AI, whatever, to ask questions to the AI.
The generated answer is accurate and well cited, with all claims supported by the indicated sources.
Yep. I have one. What is spiritual research? AI, what type of research is Martinus' work? What else can we ask? AI, does Martinus state something about the Martinus Institute? That's the mystery of life. Let's move on to the next one. Society. Society's structure today, in its understanding of justice, can be seen as imperfect. Using measures like revenge and punishment, this is because society hasn't truly grasped the absolute truth of life's natural laws. Bum bum bum. Interesting. Societies, whether professional, political, religious, or commercial, are considered herds held together by shared ideas. Let's just
Input: society. Response: #answer. Society's structure today, in its understanding of justice, can be seen as imperfect, using measures like revenge and punishment. This is because society hasn't fully grasped the absolute truth of life's natural laws, specifically neighborly love. As society gains experience, its views on justice will evolve until the laws of life are totally exposed as facts. The judicial laws of a future society, based on these facts, will be significantly different from those of today. Societies, whether professional, political, religious, or commercial, are considered herds held together by shared ideas, which manifest thought. These herds acquire specific modes of operation and release energy, representing a form of movement or quality. The laws of society, such as those against theft, fraud, and revenge, don't seem oppressive to those who don't have those tendencies. These individuals often carry compliance with the laws in their hearts. The business principle has become fundamental to mankind's self-preservation. However, it only becomes ignoble when large groups of the community's strong and healthy individuals are prevented from being able to pay value for value. Society's aim is to improve social conditions. Overall assessment, minor cite.
Fair enough. Yes, I can break it. What does Martinus say about nails? Now we're
Input.
really...
What does Martinus state about nails? Response, #answer.
No answer.
Based on the provided documents, there is insufficient information to provide a detailed answer to the query about nails. The available information discusses...
He actually says something about nails. So, I don't know. Maybe it's just not in there, in that part. Next one. What is the Lord's Prayer?
Input. What is the Lord's Prayer? Response, #answer. The Lord's Prayer is a prayer that Christ taught his disciples, accessible to all people of the world, and is a vast area for meditation. It is considered the very highest meditation because it strengthens and supports the path towards light without being a trap. The prayer constitutes a glorious attitude towards the Godhead and everything else that is living. The Lord's Prayer has 9 thought concentrations. The first thought concentration begins with the words, Our Father, who art in heaven. Through these words, one can exclude all irrelevant thoughts to open a channel to providence. The prayer includes the phrases Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, and give us this day our daily bread. Other phrases of the Lord's Prayer include Forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive them that trespass against us, lead us not into temptation, and but deliver us from the evil. Finally, the prayer ends with the acknowledgement For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Conclusion, the generated answer is generally accurate and well cited. There were some minor discrepancies with which documents were referenced.
What is spiritual research? This is interesting.
Input, what is spiritual research? Response, #answer. Spiritual research is a series of experiences or facts that materialistic science has not encountered and cannot possibly experience. It is not yet studied in depth at universities and colleges. Real science describes realistic facts or experiences. Spiritual science aims to convey to the seeker an understanding of the interaction between their own will and consciousness and cosmic forces. The goal is for the seeker to realize their own potential through logical thinking and consciously participate in their own development. This includes the study of the expressions of life on earth and the longing for a world of peace. Those involved in spiritual research, often termed spiritual researchers, are individuals in evolution where feeling and intelligence are connected. The object of life for these people will be philosophical and spiritual research. Spiritual knowledge consists of analyses of experiences promoted by forces not sensed by ordinary physical senses. This knowledge is an expression of life's absolute answer to eternal facts. Conclusion, the generated answer.
What type of research is
Input, what type of research is Martinus' work? Response, #answer. Martinus' work involves presenting symbols and their explanations, which were prepared for publication in his books. Some of these symbols and explanations were previously published in other books and in the magazine Cosmos. These symbol explanations include notes that state which books or Cosmos articles they are reproduced from. Martinus' work is also a first-hand account of cosmic realities, demonstrated through Liebesbog and eternal wisdom. His cosmic experience is considered a living proof that it is possible to achieve high knowledge and wisdom through self-realization. The analyses in Liebesbog are designed to be the highest analyses of life, analyzing the predominant problems and laws of existence. It is also meant to constitute a work that contains the analyses of all the remaining predominant problems and laws of existence. This work's fundamental analysis constitutes a triune principle. Conclusion: the answer accurately reflects the information in the source documents and provides correct citations.
Is there one more? There is one more.
Input: does Martinus state something about the Martinus Institute?
This is what
Response:
it's supposed
### answer.
There is no information about it. So that's perfect. Do. Okay, so the idea is essentially to prompt the AI, for instance, with the living being. Let's do that one. How do I do that? So I do this. I think I can do that. QA. Something like this. This should work. So I essentially make pages where I can put in the information. See? Let me do this so you can actually see what I'm doing. This is classic. So I'm essentially adding a page for the living being where I can put in QA is the quality assurance. So I can put in all the information I need. I think the wiki is a little bit, might not be the greatest to use, but anyway. QA for the living being article. Don't know if it has to be capitalized, but we will do it. So we had version 1, right? Oh, do I like this? that is over now with all the bell ringing. So let's just do this. So what I will do here is I'll have to find a way to, so I will do it the other way around so I can just add to things. I'm not sure I want to automate this. I can do that. So there we go. Let's just save that for the sake of it. And then we go to the AI. Okay. Has to move a file, and it doesn't just do it when the file is created. That would be the optimal way of doing it. What is a spiritual researcher? Let's share that one.
Input, what is a spiritual researcher? Response, #answer. A spiritual researcher is a person who is primarily driven by a strong desire to solve spiritual problems through philosophical and spiritual research. This individual is motivated by a thirst for knowledge and a desire for research. They are interested in philosophical and spiritual research. A spiritual researcher is not content with merely an emotional interpretation of the mystery of life, but also seeks an intellectual understanding. The spiritual researcher must possess a consciousness free from frustration or mental disturbance, as well as from inferior desires, tendencies, and vices. Their faculty of concentration must not be interfered with, as this is essential for achieving perfect results in their investigations. The researcher must also have a strong love for truth, not allowing themselves to distort their results. When research occurs in areas that depend solely on the researcher's own individual mental faculty, the maturity of their spiritual bodies and their faculty of concentration become vital. This type of researcher appears among the philosophers and spiritual researchers. Conclusion, the generated answer is accurate and well cited.
Yeah, and it's pretty good. It's a pretty good answer. Pretty impressive. It took me a very long time to come up with something like that. Annoyingly long time. All files. So what I do now is, you cannot see that, but I copied the text basically, and then we're here. Kapow. If I had to do that. I'm gonna go nuts if I have to do all this by hand. So what I really want to do is have something where I can, and I'm pretty sure I can do that, where I run through the 20 pages and say this is version 5, and it runs all of it, and it puts all the answers in here. Let me... this is my go-to LLM right now. What is the easiest way to integrate Python with a media wiki running on my website? Let me know if you need additional info for a determining a solution. And we are thinking, easiest way, the most common, general easiest way is to use Python libraries specifically designed to interact with media. Yes. Media Wiki has a powerful built-in API that allows programs to query blah blah blah. Where are the primary options? Drop that. Using MVC client library, recommended for RIP. Your domain, your bot. Yeah. Hit the page, edit. So I have to make a category. Oh, this would be, it would take me a couple of edit title, hello from Python script. Is it really that easy? I think I can do this in, if I say a couple of hours, it's probably gonna take 6-7 hours to do this. PyWiki, I use that for the whole it'll put in an index. Direct HTTP. Can I integrate and aid with media wiki e.g. through a Python script. I also already know the answer to that. You can do that. Shouldn't be a problem. Should be fairly easy. Kind of. Maybe. So we can use the code node. Don't really know how well it is at doing Python, but you can call it externally, I believe. Do 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 do. Okay, so what I'm doing here is a page. Do 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 do. Do do do. So I need a category page for it so I can get all the pages in a specific category. This is pretty nice, and then I can also get them the other way if I want to. Not a problem. Okay. So what is it that I've just been talking about? Yeah, well, what I want to do is basically test if the AI is, how the AI is progressing basically. So what I'm doing here is that I have some prompts, the living being. So the idea is that every time I make a new version of the AI, and there will be a couple of them, then is everything. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, died again. So every time there's a new version, you can go in here and see what are the answers to the living being, to society, the mystery of life, and so forth. And I'll do a script that basically runs these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I'll find some more. So maybe 20, 25, something like that. Can go in here. There will be some text up here. Doesn't really matter. But the last one of these secondary headlines will have the versions. So what I will do is essentially whenever I run my code, the code will go in and it will see, it will call the AI, in this case with the prompt, the living being, and it will add it to the wiki page. That's it. And it will run through all the pages. So I'll do 25 updates. And then I'll have all the versions here. So I can see version 1, nothing happened. Version 2, nothing happened. Version 3, oh, it gave this answer. And then I'll have version 4. And hopefully that will be a bit better. Or version 3.1 or whatever. Doesn't really matter that much. So whenever I think I have kind of frozen a version, I can run that script and it will add to all these pages. That'll take some time to set up. So now I have to remember how we do category. Edit. Category. Here I'm Martinus QA page. Huh? Does that have to be at the end? Oh, come on. Ah, it's there. Perfect. Category. Okay, so that's a project. I think that's well deserved, so it's well documented what is going on here. Yeah, that will work. That was not what I wanted to do, but that was where we ended up. Thought about doing a long stream, but I don't think I will. Do-do-do-do. So I need to do Ah. This better be right. Language bug. The mystery of life. Oh. Maybe I can ask it about that. What does Martinus call the causeless causality? Not sure what it is called in English. The Danish version translation is løse årsag. Try that one. Try that one. Ba-dum, ba-dum, ba-dum. Da-dum, da-dum. Okay, I need to find a better way to do this. The living being. The causeless cause. The causeless cause. Ultimately, I want to do this in Danish as well, but we start with the English one. Mentality. Explosion. Language of God. Some pretty crazy questions you can ask. Electric motor. Nails. It's the same as here. Martinus center Clint. Where is Martinus born? When is Martinus born? Why is Martinus born? So now I got all the pages. I just have to start them. say Python script to run the AI. Result for each term to the QA wiki pages. Do it for all the QA terms. I'll do that at some point. Do I want to do it today? Could. I could. To run it on what machine? Maybe I run it on this one. Who knows? Ah, what the hell. Let's try. It's funny. But I need some freezer. Dee-dee-dee-dee. Martinus, let's call it the wiki. And where did it go? All my great info. That's a pretty cool thing you can ask it about. Here we go. Provide me with a Python script that reads a page from a media wiki. It is located on then I have to make bot users and all that. I need to make a bot user. How do I do it? Can't remember. What else? Oh, damn it. Do. Edit that one. Da-dun. Fuck, what the hell? disconnected. How horrible is that? Do 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 do. Alrighty. Gonna do that. Robot. I think my internet connection is just semi-dead right now. Everything is working backwards. Let's see how bad it is. Ah, I know what the problem is. Damn. What a rookie mistake. Is it that bad?